What's up, all you ketos? Okay. Back with the 3D engine stuff. Okay. So, in the last video, I said I was going to make a program that allows me to draw out 2D objects and then make triangles with those things. So then I can find the bounds of that object, because it's extremely hard to calculate the bounds of, let's say, a shape like this. It would be extremely hard just to look at this and say, do all the math needed to find the bounds of this object. That's why what you can do is divide it into a bunch of triangles, because triangles are much easier to find the bounds of, and any object can be extremely easily approximated by a series of triangles. So turning a shape like this, a 2D shape like this, into a bunch of triangles, saving it, uploading it to an Arduino, and then being able to render that object and then be able to interact with that 2D object in this with its bounds. And I'm doing that because the next step is to be able to make a 3D bounds maker. So I expand this project, or maybe I could do each face, or I don't know how I'm going to do it. But use this to go ahead and transition into 3D, so you can find the bounds of a 3D object, which will allow me to find the faces of a 3D object and then shade in all those objects, and then also be able to do dynamic lighting and occlusion and all that cool stuff. But I have to find the bounds of the faces of these 3D objects, and those are 2D shapes, rotated and all that stuff in 3D. So this is it. This is the code right here. It's quite a bit, but really this is how it works. This is how it works, like this. So you make the shape, let's say like this, right? And then you connect the lines like this, and you press space. As you can see, nothing happened. That's because there's no triangles. Now once I start making triangles and press space, it now finds the bounds of all these triangles. And then I just have to make it so that it takes all those that triangle data, puts it in a file. I can upload that to an SD card and then put it on the Arduino. That part's kind of simple. This was the hard part. So now it's able to find if I collide with this weird shape, which would be almost impossible to do, extremely hard to do if I didn't break it up into triangles. So yeah, I can make any shape I possibly want and find the bounds of it. This square, finding the bounds of this irregular rectangle, this polygon, would be extremely hard. Turn it into two triangles, very easy. And all I have to say is, if you touch one of these triangles that make up this shape, you're touching the shape. And there it is. Now I can find the bounds of any shape. Now the only thing that this thing does not approximate very well without making too many triangles are circles. Circles, you need infinites to make a perfect circle. But number one, you don't have to do infinite precision. It just has to be approximated. That's number one. Number two, circles are actually they're really easy to find the bounds of a circle, because all you have to do is say the distance. If the distance is under this number, then you're touching the circle. So maybe I might add a circle component to it so that you can make rounded objects. So if I wanted to make a ball, I wouldn't just make like an octagon or a decagon, or keep going further like that with all these crazy triangles. I could just make one and then somehow encode that this is a circular shape into the program. I can do that. Or even an arc, just an arc. That would be better, just because it wouldn't be too hard to find the arc. Find if you're colliding with an arc. I don't think. I actually haven't tried. Well, that's coming in the future. And actually, I don't think I'm going to do the arc, because once I transition into 3D objects with curves like that, it would be really hard to, because you have to find points and draw lines. You have to approximate it with 3D. So I don't think it would be possible to do that. So I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it like this. Make it so that it spits out a TXT file and with certain encoding, and then I upload that to Arduino, and I can just reference, make this object in 2D, and then boom, you have this 2D object that can interact with other things. Interact with it. You can find the bounds of any 2D shape with this thing. And then once I have that, I have to make a 3D editor in which you can find the bounds of a 3D object using the triangles made up by its faces. That part's going to be extremely hard. I don't even know how I'm going to do it. Yeah. Because, let's do this thing. Trying to find the bounds of just the cylinder right here in 3D, I wouldn't even know how to start. But if I can fill this up with triangles, I can say, oh, it's a triangle. Rotated in 3D. That's the real part, the rotating it in 3D and all that stuff. But that's what I have to do. That's it.